Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Short Play, a series of quick tours of games I like on a variety of platforms, new and old. Today's game is Petal Crash, which was a 2020 release from Galaxy Trail, developed by Friend and Fairy. This is the second collaboration between Galaxy Trail and Friend and Fairy, after the retro-style platformer Grapple Force Reno, which you can find on Steam. Petal Crash is a puzzle game specifically designed to evoke the look and feel of classic 1990s puzzlers, particularly from the late 90s, and especially those on the Game Boy Color. Now these days we see a lot of NES-inspired modern retro-style games, but the Game Boy Color is a little bit underrepresented and less common, which makes Petal Crash immediately stand out. And so I was fascinated by this from the first time I saw it, and I'm very glad that the game actually lived up to its distinctive, very attractive Game Boy Color inspired aesthetic. So let's go play Petal Crash.
Okay, here we are with Petal Crash from Friend and Fairy, published by Galaxy Trail. So this was by someone called Tim Ashley Jenkins. And mostly a solo project as far as I can make out. They had some people to come in to help with the writing and I think the sound, but most of the project was entirely that one person's work, so pretty impressive. Anyway, here's your obligatory late 90s style puzzler introduction sequence with some lovely animation, it has to be said. And here's all the characters and their sacred blooms. So, really nice thing with this is that there's several different control schemes according to how you want to play. So, default is this quick swipe method where you hold down a button and then push the direction to move blocks around. Aim and release means you hold the button, press the direction, and then release the button. Or you can simply use the 4 face buttons on your controller to correspond to the 4 directions. I personally prefer that one, so we'll stick it on that one. You do have to change that every time you play for some reason. It doesn't remember your setting on that, but I guess that's not a huge deal, really. Okay, and then we're into the game. So there's several different ways to play. We've got solo play for one player. We've got a versus mode where you can play against the computer or a friend. There's no online play, but you can play local multiplayer with this. There's a puzzle mode, and then there's various settings and things there. So let's have a quick look at the puzzle mode first of all, because this is actually a good way of learning the basic mechanics of this game. So you choose a puzzle board, and there's actually a puzzle board for each of the characters in this game. So I've done all the ones for Libri there. So if we move on to say Penny and Daony there, they've got 15 levels to do, starting from that middle one, and then you unlock them as you complete them. So let's have a look, see what they got to offer. So this puzzle here, it tells us in the middle what we have to clear, and it tells us what moves we've got. So the diamond-shaped moves is moves in any direction, and then certain puzzles limit you to only a certain number of moves in specific directions as well. So, the title of this puzzle is Two of Us. Right, so the way this game works is you have these coloured blocks on the screen. And you move your cursor around, and you can then slide a block in any direction by using the controls that you set up at the beginning. And what happens is, if that block collides with another block of the same colour, that's a crash, and then all the blocks of the same colour that are attached orthogonally will be destroyed. But that's not all that happens as well. Watch what happens if I push this blue block up. So not only did it destroy those blue ones, it also sends out a shockwave and makes any adjacent blocks fly outwards as well, and that can cause chain reactions. And a lot of the puzzle mode, and getting good at the main game mode in this, is dependent on you getting a real feel for that shockwave mechanic. Alright, let's move to this one here and see what we got. So we've got 7 moves this time. It's called Teamwork, and we have to destroy the orange ones and the garbage blocks, which are the grey ones. But we don't have to destroy the purple ones, which is interesting. So, how is this going to work? I have no idea. Let's find out. So 7 moves is quite a lot. So I'm guessing we probably need to do something like move that over there and then down there. And then this one comes up here and over there. And down there. Because that gets rid of 2 of the garbage blocks. But we then still have to get rid of that last one. There's only 2 moves left to do that. I don't think we've done that correctly. Because there's not enough moves to do anything else there. So let's try something else. So if we stick that one there and that one there. And this one here and this one here. And if we then move that one here, this should set off a chain reaction that will clear all of them. I think. Let's find out. Nope. Not enough. Okay. I think we were on the right track with that, though. So if we chain react this one there, that will move to there and crash with that one. So that needs another one next to it, really. Oh, this is tricky. Alright, again, let's pop those there. Let me do something clever like this. No, that's not going to work either, is it? Start again. Alright. Stick those there. Oh no, wrong. Undo. Alright, stick that one there. And that one there. And then bring these in. And that clears 2. Still not enough moves. How do you do this? It's got to be something to do with that. It's got to be. And then there's only 1 move left, which is not enough. Not enough. Let's try another puzzle. I don't know how to do that one, and I don't want to spend all day trying to figure it out and confusing you lot. Right, in this one we need to get rid of the green ones and the purple ones. So there's a garbage block we need to get rid of down here in order to get this green one out, which we'll probably have to do with the purple one. Or perhaps the blue one. Right, I can put the blue one there. Actually, I'm not sure that's super helpful, because we can just do that. Oh, no, that is helpful. Oh, it's not enough moves. Tits. Try again. Right, well, the purple one can just go down there. That's fine. And then we stick that one there. Bring that one down. Bring that one over. Bring that one over, and that's not enough moves. These are much trickier than the ones I've done previously. Right, we can't move this one up. So, and there's only one move to the right, so... I would assume that needs to go there. And then what? So we obviously do need to get rid of those purples. So that will use one down, one right, another down. That's still not enough moves. Or is it? One. Let's try it. No, it's not enough. Because this needs to come down, and that needs to go left, but it needs to stop there before it can go down again. And if we move that down, we don't have enough moves to move this green one down and finish it. Okay, so we probably need to use some sort of clever shockwave mechanic instead. Hummer. Right, can that go there? And then that there? How would that help? It doesn't help, does it? It's just foolishness. Absolute foolishness. Yeah, no. One more try and then we'll do something else. Right, so is there anywhere I can put this that is a bit more advantageous? I'll move that there, and that there, then that down. Does that achieve anything whatsoever? I don't think it does it? No, useless. We kind of want the green to end up there, don't we? Okay, so if I can do that, and that, and that, and that, and that. That's it, there we go. Yoink! Done! Okay, anyway, I've spent a long time in that, so that is puzzle mode. There are lots of puzzles for you to figure out. That's a very sort of 90s puzzle game thing to do, that we don't tend to see a lot of in modern puzzle games, because they tend to focus very much on the versus side of things. So I was really excited to see that. Let's go have a go at the time trial first. So this is just a game against yourself, basically, to try and get as many points as possible. You can pick your character. It doesn't really matter who it is, because it doesn't affect anything aside from the music that plays in the background. So let's have Yosoti, the centaur. And then you can choose to play a 5 or an 8 minute game, play on a full or a mini board, and play on turbo mode or normal mode. And it records your high score separately for each of those modes. So, yeah, it's nice and fair. So, in both time trial and turn trial mode, you're presented with a board like this and a time limit, and your only aim is to just get as many points as possible as quickly as possible. And you'll see on the board, in this case, we have these block spawners are gradually starting to appear as well. So it takes a few turns for them to spawn their blocks, but you can see what colour those blocks are going to be beforehand. So you can use them to plan out any potential chain reactions and stuff like that. I will say this now, I'm not very good at planning out chain reactions, so I'm not going to pretend to be any sort of Petal Crash master today. But it will hopefully give you an idea of what this game is all about, at the very least. You can go there, and then down, and then back up again. You go there. So I like this because it's it's a different mechanic to what we normally encounter in modern puzzle games. So modern puzzle games, we tend to either have like making lines or I mean, this is matching colours, but it's not like your usual swap gems around to match 3. It's a little bit different. It's got elements of there's elements of Tetris Attack in here. There's elements of what's it called, Puzznic, and various other bits and bobs. So it's good because that combination of things just gives it quite a different feel from other puzzle games. Because as much as I love Puyo Puyo Tetris, it's still Puyo Puyo and Tetris, which are games we've been playing for years at this point, so... Whereas while this maybe isn't a completely original concept, it is providing us with something that feels a bit more fresh, because we haven't seen it quite so often as those other styles of puzzle. And obviously, as you might guess, your game is also over if the board fills up at any point. In practice, I've rarely found that to be an issue, because the fact you only need to match 2 means it's always quite easy to make a match. But it is a risk you need to bear in mind a little bit. You see, you can cover over the block spawners with blocks. That doesn't get rid of the spawner, it just means that the spawning of that block is delayed until the block is moved off the top of it. So you can actually use that quite strategically if you're sensible and have a bigger brain than I do. I love the music in this because it just captures that Game Boy Color feel so perfectly. There's a couple of instances where it uses a couple of sounds that I wouldn't have expected to hear on the Game Boy, but it's still kind of plausible that you would have heard them if there was like a cartridge with an enhanced sound chip, or if they were making use of the Game Boy's wave channel for certain instrument sounds. But for the most part, it's this sort of pulse wave music with the drum beats on the noise channel. It just sounds very, very, very authentic. And that limited colour palette just looks exactly like you expect something on the Game Boy Color to look like as well. A bit of Neo Geo Pocket Color in there as well, but I'm pretty sure that Game Boy Color is the specific aesthetic they're going for. There's if you look at the credits, there's a library they used that was called GBC something or other. So it seems like Game Boy Color was the specific thing they were going for. What am I doing? Not paying attention to what I'm doing is what I'm doing. Gonna run out of time. And I haven't beaten my previous score. Not quite. Nearly there. First seed. Right, so that is the time trial mode. We'll just play a bit of story mode now, just to give you an idea of how it goes. Right, who should we play as? I've done Yosati's story, I've done Penny and Dayone's story. Let's do Libri. I'm just going to bump the difficulty up slightly as well. I'm going to put it up to medium. As easy is pretty straightforward. Like, I can get through the whole thing. Medium, it does start to get challenging by partway through, so we probably won't get all the way through the story, because I'm crap at making chains, and you need to be good at making chains by partway through this. Anyway, the 7 sacred blossoms. They were scattered when the old kingdom collapsed, left to languish in lost corners of a fractured Floria. Still, power yet sleeps inside them. If the sacred blossoms are returned home to the royal garden's ruins, whosoever gathered them will be granted their heart's true and deepest wish. At least that's what I've read. Gosh, but it's just ever so exciting. Sure, the records don't agree on the specifics, and some historians agree it's likely a myth. But myth or fact, legend or history, it's knowledge worth pursuing either way. Besides, I have a sacred blossom of my own. This lily's proof that there's some truth to the tales, isn't it? Maybe. I think so. I'm not sure. To be honest, I've been putting off this journey for a while. I've researched all my life. When a librarian wants answers, they don't hit the road, they hit the books. But everyone is counting on me to make the Sylvan Library the best resource that it can be. If a wish can fill its shelves with knowledge lost to time, then I'll just have to quest my very best. The writing in this has a really distinctive feel to it. It's got this very sort of elaborate, almost poetic feel to a lot of it. Amazing. The Sacred Blossom Bird of Paradise is just as beautiful as my research suggested. Stop right there. If you want the Sacred Blossom, you'll have to pry it from my hot, alive hands. But Strelitz, was it? The rest of your village agreed to let me borrow... So what? They can't just give our treasure to every stray librarian that claims to need it for a quest. How would you like it if I came to your library and borrowed one of your books, huh? I'm the prince, the king of... I'm part of this town too. Everyone here's too good for their own good, so it's on me to let strangers take advantage of their trust. Do not let strangers take advantage of their trust. I see. He really cares about his village. You're good too, you know, Strelitz. Okay then, let's Petal Crash. After that, we won't be strangers anymore. It's a tug-of-war battle. Clear blocks to score hits. Yeah, so this is the core mechanic of the versus battle mode, is what would score you points in the mode we were just playing, instead moves that meter down at the bottom of the screen closer to your opponent. And if it drops off the end, then you score a hit against your opponent, and that takes one of their hearts away. And as you might expect, your aim is to reduce your opponent's hearts to 0 or cause them to fill their screen up. It's quite unlikely they will fill their screen up, like I said before, because it's so easy to make crashes. And so you will probably want to focus on scoring hits. And you will notice as the battle continues, the ends of the tug-of-war bar down at the bottom, they actually shorten. So that means that you'll never get into a stalemate, because eventually the bar will be so short that it only takes a single match to push it far enough in one direction or the other to actually score a hit. So it keeps things nice and pacey. A little bit of Pokemon music there. That's 2 hits. Now, if you do manage to score chains in a versus match like this, you will send garbage blocks to your opponents. So that is an important part of being able to win, but it's not as important as it is in something like Tetris or Puyo Puyo. Because really, the main focus of what you're trying to do is score those hits, and that simply involves getting the matches. This village is real treasure, Strelitz. Keep on protecting it. Make sure to study too. So you see, when you complete a level in story mode, your challenge level goes up very slightly. So it's a little bit like what Super Smash Bros. Does with its is it classic mode that does that, I think. It's a good way of doing it. It's sort of adjusting difficulty according to how well you're doing. My, all the clothing in this shop is expertly made. Huh. How nice to see hard-learned knowledge at work. Great taste, lady. Hear that, Danny? Yeah, my sewing's nothing special, but that's kind of her to say. Oh, come on. Take the compliment, Danny. The customer's always right, you know. Oh, I'm wrong quite often. I still have much to learn. I have read books on fashion and sewing, though. Books about sewing? Why, yes. There's tomes that touch upon all sorts of subjects at the Sylvan Library. You can just say you'd like to read one, Danny. I was working up to it. Oh, of course. Sharing books is what I'm all about. Here, this travelogue has passages you might find interesting. Hey, you wanted my peony, right? Everyone said you've been asking around about it, saying it grants wishes. Oh, yes, that. I was working up to it. Well, you basically already granted a wish for Danny, so I'll give it to you. Sis. For a 10% discount, sis. What? Okay, fine. Double discount if you can beat us in a Petal Crash. See how this works. Classic 90s puzzle game narrative with flimsy justification for repeated puzzle battles. Right, one thing you might have noticed Penny and Daony doing over there is deliberately fast-forwarding the spawners, which causes more blocks to appear sooner. That is always an option to you. There's no penalty for doing that. It just fills up your board a bit more, but it can be worth doing because obviously it'll give you more blocks to work with. The more blocks you've got, the more likely you are to get a match. But also the busier your field is as well, so it's a bit of a balancing act. But judging from what I've seen of the slightly tougher computer opponents, it seems to be quite a good idea to spawn a few more blocks almost immediately at the start of the match and then start setting up some chains. I'm still quite early in my time with this game, so I have by no means figured out optimal strategies or anything like that, but just from a bit of casual observation of the computer opponent, that appears to be the approach they take. And you can see from how the meter is progressing at the bottom, this is noticeably trickier than the first round. There we are, all done. All in hand for the minute. I say I can beat the game on the easiest difficulty level and the level that it rises to by the end of the game, but I haven't managed to clear it on the level that we're playing here yet. Just because towards the end of the game, the opponents just get a little bit too challenging for me, and I haven't quite figured out enough of the mechanics to figure out what I need to do. So let me get this straight. You're saying this orchid I dug up is one of 6 secret blossoms. Yes, Orchid's thing is that she talks all in lowercase. I don't know why, but she does. One of 7 sacred blossoms, yes. And when you got all 8, they grant your wish. That's wild, man. Like a really tedious genie. I suppose. And I also don't suppose you'd mind lending it to me? Keep it. It's all yours. Huh? You're giving me the orchid just like that? If there's something you want, I'd be happy to trade for it. Dang, I didn't even need to gather 9 of you. But nah, it's chill. No clue what I'd wish for if I kept it. Guess I kind of want to know what you're going to wish for, though. Well, a window to Floria's past, in short. Think of all we'd learn if we could study it as if it were the present. Nice. Digging up old stuff is kind of my whole jam, and what's more old stuff than everything before right now? Wait. If a window to everything that ever was means absolute knowledge, and knowledge is power, your wish is for absolute power? Huh? I'll Petal Crash the seed of your dark reign before it sprouts, tyrant. Def not just role-playing because I'm bored. Yeah, there, you see again, Orchid is going right away for filling up the board. A huge amount. Which looks like an extremely dangerous strategy, but it seems to work for a lot of the computer opponents. So I should probably try it myself at some point, but I'm too scared. Right. That first hit was in nice and early. But you see, while their board looks really chaotic right now, they are absolutely primed and ready to do a bunch of chain reactions if they can actually get a crash in the first place. Although, I think they're going to struggle there. They don't have any space left. That's amazing. I've not actually scored a victory by the opponent running out of space before. But yeah, they're genuinely in a spot of bother there. If I can get another chain... then that will win the whole match. But it's not as if they're able to score any matches either. There we go. Beautifully done. You suck, orchid. You're only kidding, but I'll use my wish for good. Don't worry. It is a good wish, right? I hope so. Right, we're up to level 3.2 now. Miss Daisy, I got one of these sacred blossoms then. And when it's with its buds, they grant you a true wish? In theory, yes. For a library full of everything Floria's past still has to teach us, it's worth a try at least. Floria's past, huh? I can't speak for any history that ain't the cities, but I don't know there's much in ours besides what led to now. And now ain't working for a lot of folks these days. When your present's poor and hungry, tomorrow's the more pressing mystery than all the yesterdays for years, you know. I see. You're right. Food for thought is lovely, but you can't eat books. Well, it's inadvisable. That ain't it. The past is a tool like anything else. What matters is the good you do with it. Personally, I trust the past in good hands if they're yours. The Daisy, too. The way I see it, you proved you can handle old tools like a pro by putting up with me as long as you have. You're a wise guy in every sense of the words, Daisy. Thank you. I hope I can find the faith in me you've seemed to find so easily. I want to be a worthy steward of the past. Tell you what, since you think I'm so dang wise, face me in a Petal Crash, and I'll prove you're one the wiser. That's what you think. I fully intend to lose this battle. That's not true. Quite a nice touch here. If you look at Daisy's grid, you can see it looks a bit different to mine. And that's because Daisy's actually using one of the colorblind options for this game, which sort of makes the different blocks stand out a bit more. So you see it's a bit more high contrast. The symbols on the blocks are a little bit more prominent. And the colours are a bit different as well, presumably to make them stand out more to people who have trouble with the specific colours that are being used in the default settings. I thought that's a really nice touch. That's a nice little sort of nod to accessibility and inclusivity without being obnoxious about it. It's not saying, look, this character's colorblind, look at what we've done to support him. It's just a subtle thing. Just a subtle thing, and it works really nicely. And there's lots of stuff like that in this game if you sort of pay attention to it. And that really is always the optimal way to do sort of inclusivity and that sort of thing, is just to not make a big deal of it. It's just, if someone who thinks they need representation stumbles across it, they'll think, oh, great, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it's preaching to anyone, which is great, because people don't like to be preached at. Regardless of how good the intentions are, and regardless of how noble the thing is that you are preaching to them about, people don't like being preached at. People don't like being told what to think. Which is a shame, really, but, you know, it is the world we live in. And so I've got a lot of time for how this game handles itself, especially having seen some examples of it done quite poorly over the years. We won't get into that now, but yeah, there are quite a few examples out there of it being done very badly indeed. And obviously, I don't fit into a group that is sort of particularly in need of representation or anything like that, but I can only imagine, under circumstances like that it must just feel quite patronising. But, well, like I say, that's not an issue here, which is nice. Thank you so much for believing in me, Days. I'll think hard about how best to put the past to present use. Yeah, those clothes, that forget-me-not in your hair. I know you. You're Suddy, the dancer. I'm so glad I tracked you down. I know this is a lot to ask, but I was wondering if I could have... my autograph? Of course. Always nice to meet a fan. What should I sign? One of your books? Goodness, no. I'm more dispassionate scholar than passionate fan. Well, passionate scholar? Oh, you don't have to hide it. I don't mind if they're full of fanfic and drawings of me, you know. That's not it. This one sure seems like fanfic. Yosoti at the royal court. Or here, Rebel Heart, Yosoti's secret love. Those are historical manuscripts, accounts of your predecessors' lives. I was studying the sacred blossoms. Your name and that flower have been passed down hand in hand over the years. Oh, I see. And you're the librarian on a quest for a perfect record of the past. Rumours had reached my ears. I think yours is a lovely wish, but my forget-me-not is a family heirloom. I can't part with it. Not until I've secured my place in your collection with an unforgettable Petal Crash. Come, dance with me. Yeah, it's normally around this point I start to struggle a bit, I think. We're doing okay, though. It's going okay for now. Yosoti is dropping a bunch of garbage on me, though, so... I suspect it's going to go very wrong very soon. Listen to those sound effects. So wonderful. So wonderful. Alright, you're good there. Get rid of that garbage. Thank you very much. Stop dropping shit on me. There we go. Another garbage out of the way. Oh, you're taking the piss, you sooty. I got you there. I'll take you down. I'll take you all down. All one of you. There we go, another hit. Very good. Getting a little bit hectic for my liking. I don't like hearing that clicky sound, because that means that they're spawning new blocks. I do approve of the fact that it sounds like something from the Spectrum, though. It sounds like a sound effect from Manic Miner or something. In fact, the first time I heard it, I thought it was part of Orchid's soundtrack. And I thought Orchid's soundtrack was like an homage to Manic Miner on the Spectrum, which would have been absolutely perfect. Oh, I've done it! Nice. My wish belongs to everyone that wants to be remembered. I only hope that all I've seen can be conveyed. Bless. Alright, we got 6, and I think... Yes, this is the finale. I'm almost definitely going to cark it here. I am Rosalia, last Knight of the Kingdom, protector of the Royal Garden. You who have gathered 6 of the 7 sacred blossoms, state your wish. A Knight of the Kingdom? She's a living relic. I must ask her... No, be cool. You quested hard for this. I want my Sylvan Library to be a place where Floria's past can live on in the present. All the knowledge that's been lost to time, lost to the churn of change. I would wish it back onto my shelves. I see. A noble dream to preserve what has been lost, but a misguided one. I will use the Seven's wish to revive my kingdom. How could its mere ghost upon a faded page compare? Revive the kingdom? But that isn't possible. A unified Floria, its kings and queens, they withered for a reason. Your words and wish forsake the past you claim to love. You prefer a history pressed flat, dead within your books, to one blossoming beautifully once more? I see your resolve plain upon your face, and yet I sense you've restrained your riposte. Unacceptable. I won't allow you to hold back. If you refuse to face me in a clash of words, you'll face me in a clash of wits. We Petal Crash! Let the victor keep my rose, the final sacred blossom. You're on, Lady Elf. This is a good track. It reminds me of something you'd hear in a Way Forward game. This is actually one of the ones that makes use of a sound that... just there. That sort of sampled string sound. That sounds a little bit more Super NES to me than Game Boy Color. But it's not impossible for the Game Boy to produce a sound like that. Because it does have a wave channel, and then there was always the possibility of... Need to be concentrating. And then there was always the possibility of cartridges actually having enhanced sound chips as part of their hardware. Which, if you know your game history, is something that had been happening all the way back to the Atari 7800 era. Because the Atari 7800 had a notoriously shit sound chip, which was actually the same one that was in the Atari 2600. And so in a couple of cases, not very many cases, but a couple of cases, developers actually put the pokey sound chip from the Atari 8-bit and the Atari 5200 into the cartridge for a game, so it could have enhanced sound. And on the Japanese side of things, we have titles like Castlevania 3 on the Famicom, which in its original Famicom incarnation had an enhanced sound chip. But unfortunately that was stripped out for the Western release. So we haven't been able to enjoy that in the West until... Uh-oh, that's a hit on me. Yeah, we haven't been able to enjoy that enhanced sound in Castlevania in the West unless you were either emulating or now, as part of the Castlevania Anniversary Collection that Konami put out a while back. Oh, she's making a real mess of my board here. This is what I mean by... this is where it all ends, I think. Oh no! Poor timing. Yeah, I mean... besides dropping all that garbage on me, she's just scoring more crashes than me as well, so... there's another hit. It's just easy to start panicking when your board starts getting full. In fact, one nice thing in the tutorial for this game is that it specifically tells you not to panic when your board starts getting full. That's an important lesson you need to learn in this. Because if you do panic, things are going to get real messy real quick. Much like they have for me right now. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Push, 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 push. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, feel the strain in that tug-of-war in the middle. Go on, push her, push her. Off the end. Alright. 2 hits. I got this. It's all in hand. It's all fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. I said everything's fine. No. Oh, moron. You move there. You move there. You move there. You. Oh, that was a nice chain. Completely accidental, but I'll take it. Come on, I got you. I have you now. Oh, I've done it. Good. You saw it here first. Rosalia, forgive me. Your wish, your feelings for the land you lost, they're truly worthy, but... But? The 7 sacred blossoms. I'm holding history past and future in my hands. How did I end up with a present so much bigger than I've earned? Everyone I met had wishes growing in their hearts, I'm sure of it. If I hadn't plucked the means from their grasp for my own ends prematurely, I'm certain their dreams would one day have become born fruit more brilliant than mine. Born fruit, not become fruit. Oh, Libra, you big dork. What are you going to do now? I'd like to know that too. Heck, ain't much I'd wish for more than finding out. Ah, days, but what? How? Why are you... This is your wish come true, of course. Gotta say, the suspense is a nice touch. Days, I'm glad you're here. Listen, you should take the sacred blossoms. I'm sure you'll put them to good use helping your city's people. Huh? Come on, you don't want that. I do. I don't know. I'm all mixed up. I don't know what I want. Sure you do. You had a wish that made us both beam when you shared it. It's the reason we're both here. Your passion for learning, the sacred blossoms, for Floria itself. I'm betting you'd do more good spreading that love instead of letting shame hold your heart back. Dot. I've been holding back a lot. This journey was a wish come true already. Like reading every book I love at once. Figured as much. I say I want a rematch just to prove I've truly earned this, but the truth is I love Petal Crashing too. It's as good a reason for another to go as any. I'd be happy to if you would. If I get any happier, I'll geek out for sure. I can't promise I won't be too much to handle. Reckon I can rise to the occasion. And if you really mean it... A climactic crash in the royal garden is the stuff the history and all my dreams are made of. Let's go! Oh, that wasn't the end. Okay. Okay, in the easy mode that would have been the end, but I guess there's extra scenes when you're playing on hard. That's a very retro thing to do as well. Congratulations on beating the easy mode. Now try next level. That favourite old message that none of us ever wanted to see. I finished this game, and then it goes, no you haven't. Enjoying this music, eh? Alright, there's one hit. I'm not confident in my ability to clear this. And I'm not going to continue if I do fail, because we've already been going for 50 minutes. But that is hopefully testament to how much I like this game. Oh, get rid of all this garbage, please. Uh-oh. Not looking good for old Libri down there. Ow. There's a hit. This board's getting a little bit cramped for my liking as well. Okay. A little bit of breathing room now. Clearing some of that garbage up as well. That's nice. As usual, mostly unintentional, but it worked. Need to get... There we are. Clear that bit away. Clearing garbage is a super important part of this game, I can tell, because it has a massive impact on your play area. Because you really need that space to move your blocks around. One badly placed piece of garbage can really mess you up. Oh, I've done it! I've done it! I don't have to be more than I am to deserve this. Anyone can make history. Everyone does. History isn't a flower you can just pluck from the past and transplant to the present. It's the sum total of the hopes and failures, the culture, thought and labour of the people living in it. Not dead, but teeming with life. The fertile soil where the now can bloom into a brighter future. My heart's true and deepest wish. I thought it was a perfect record of the past. But maybe I was scared to admit that what I really wanted needed me. Knowledge on its own isn't enough. The past, our history, needs to be cultivated, tended to, pruned, harvested, taught. Everyone who visits, it's a seed of days to come. So I'll make the Sylvan Library the ideal greenhouse. The best environment there is to learn and grow. I'll be the gardener, a librarian, and teacher too. I'm done doubting myself. I might not have a perfect record, but if I've learned anything on this journey, it's that I have the strength I always wished for. And that plus some good books is all I need. Hear that, Sacred Blossoms? I think this little Libri just proved your legend's real. There we are, final score 51,460 with 0 continues. I am the best at Petal Crash on normal difficulty. Okay, so here's our credits. So you see this Tim Ashley Jenkins person who's behind design, code, art, animation, characters, and sound effects. Zach Morrison, who has a webcomic out there. If you just search for their name, you can find that. Music by Michael Staple. Jill Katze, AI and puzzle compression. Oh, I forgot, you can play this credit sequence. Yes, you can keep playing while the credits are rolling. And there's a person specifically credited with Lee Libri's animation in the intro, which is fair enough because that is the most fluid, pretty part of the intro. And then there's a bunch of people credited with actually designing the puzzles. Beta testers. I think this was a Kickstarter funded game, if I remember rightly. So I don't know the full history behind it, but I suspect there were probably some tiers in the game where you could, I don't know, get your own puzzles featured or something. There's certainly a credit sequence that features the Kickstarter backers, and I think some of those involve characters designed by Kickstarter backers, or requested by Kickstarter backers. I don't know exactly how it worked, but something along those lines. Anyway, very poor score because I forgot you could play the credits. There we are. Thank you so much for playing my game. Can you find him? Driver 7 times chain. I'll pass, thanks. Okay, yeah, so here's the list of Kickstarter backers, which we will let run through because there's some lovely pixel art animation in here as well. You see certain people are highlighted with little characters. Now, I assume they backed at a higher tier or something like that. But yeah, there's some super adorable characters in there that, again, would not look out of place in a real life, an actual Game Boy Color game. I can see Shantae meeting all of these characters. Yeah, it's always nice to see a project like this come to fruition. Because it was obviously a real labour of love for the people involved in it, and then to see so many people who obviously believed in it enough to want to throw some money at it. Great stuff. Now, at the time of recording, this is a digital-only release. What I would really like to see is a package release of this. So I'd love to see like limited run games or strictly limited or any of the hundreds of other limited press houses who have sprung up over the last couple of years. I'd love to see them pick it up. A limited run did do Freedom Planet a while back, which is another Galaxy Trail game. That was actually developed by Galaxy Trail. So it'd be really nice if they picked this up as well, because this would be a really nice one to have on my shelf. I've said in the past when I've covered stuff like Soldam and Puyo Puyo Tetris that I really like having modern puzzle games on my shelf, because for a long time it's one of those genres that people thought had been killed off completely by mobile phone games. When clearly it's still alive and well, and over the last few years I'd say it's perhaps even starting to thrive again. And certainly if stuff of this calibre keeps showing up, then I'll be very happy indeed. Because this is one of those types of game that, even if I'm not super good at them, I always enjoy playing them. There's something inherently satisfying about the mechanics and the presentation of them. So, yeah, always happy to see and support new puzzle games, particularly when they're as good as this. And there we go. Don't know the history of that there, but apparently something happened at Kickstarter while this was developed. Anyway, yes, that is Petal Crash by Friend and Fairy, published by Galaxy Trail, out now on Switch and PC and possibly some other places. This is the Switch version we were playing here. But yeah, check it out. It's a good. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.